Another episode of Western Digital Wednesdays, and finally I received this package. This is a donor device to get this case going. I received this case from our friends in Vancouver, and it will need a new head assembly. We've inspected the drive. It is not coming ready. It is acting up a little strange, has no access to the data. We found a donor. The seller decided it would be okay to just wrap it around in some cardboard. I would say it's totally fine to send a flash drive like that or a memory card, but to send a hard drive in wrapped in the cardboard is not the smartest thing to do. Hopefully the device works. One thing I always do before I get into the swap on Western Digital is check the micro jogs to make sure that they're within the norm, within the range of compatibility. I prefer to go no further than 200 for individual heads to be apart, but hopefully it's closer than that, and that will just ensure that there's no compatibility issues. So these are the micro jog readings from both drives, the patient and the donor. The donor is on top, the patient is on the bottom. So head 0 is slightly apart, but it's under 200, so I'm gonna accept that. And head 2 is also slightly apart, but again, it's just slightly over 200. I'm gonna hope that it's close enough, but head 1 and head 3 are very, very close, and I don't suspect any issues there. So I ran into another issue. It seemed like the original drive had physical bad sectors in service area where the modules are, and fixing modules that are in there, maybe it was possible by relocating where they are in the directory, but I opted for the different route, and I took the donor and I basically backed up all of the resources from the donor so I can use it later to restore that donor drive. But I was able to read all of the tracks and the composition from our original failed device. So those tracks contain the entire service area for the patient unit. I wrote those tracks to the donor device, and now this donor drive IDs itself as the patient. Okay, the serial number that comes up on the initialization is the actual same serial number as the patient drive has. It doesn't have access to the data, but with a procedure known as a hot swap, we will get this sorted out. So this PCB right now, it is connected. The drive is in a sleep mode. So the spindle shuts down, but the PCB is still live, it's active. I'm gonna undo this PCB. I don't recommend trying to do this at home. This is not supposed to be done without proper tools, so don't do it. It's may not end well. But in here, I'm just gonna undo the board. Move this aside. And now we got a proper ID, we got a proper passport, the drive initialized, and all of the modules that were bad originally on the patient device had now been fixed on the donor device. So our donor device sort of worked like a booster platform for the patient to get initialized properly. And now I'm going to wake it up by recalibrating the drive. The unit comes ready. The drive fully initialized. It has access to the content. You can see different sectors. This is the last sector. This is the first sector. Everything in between should be also accessible. So now it's time to get the imaging task started. The procedure went pretty good. I'm pretty excited about the outcome. The only thing I didn't kind of expect is that the drive wouldn't load on its own after the head swap. So thankfully I had another 750 in my stock that was a little bit further out in terms of compatibility, but it was good enough to use for a hot swap procedure. And there we go, there we have it. May sound complicated, but when you do these things every day, they really become kind of like just the regular routine stuff. So if you got a problem with the hard drive that you'd like to resolve, check out the description box. Our phone number is in there, and just give us a call or submit your form on our site and we'll take care of it. So I thank you guys very much for watching this episode. If you have any questions, post comments in the comments section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.